Well, hello everybody, and today I want to talk about full-time living motorhome insurance. Now, it's nearly a year ago since it's actually a year ago since we ordered our first motorhome, and at this time we were waiting for it to be made ready, and we were just getting all the insurance in place. Now, to get insurance in place for a motorhome, not the same as a caravan, because you've got the driving bit, so you have to have sort of driving insurance as well. And well, way back a year ago, what I did was I thought, well, okay, well, I'll just phone up the caravan club and speak to their insurance department and say, well, look, I'm moving from a caravan and a car to a motorhome. And we went through all this bit, and we said, oh, it's worth this much. We're buying it new. We're picking it up on this date. Blah 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 blah, and all the rest of it. And then I just happened to mention that we were living full time in the motorhome. And bear in mind, we've been living in the caravan full time for a little while by then. Like we'd been travelling around since March in 2016, and this was in June 2017. And we've been parked up. The caravan had been stationary, parked up at Blakemere Touring Park, which is where we worked from the sort of middle of January right through till that time. And as soon as I said, oh, we live in it full time, and even after they'd given me the quote of £380 per year for motorhome insurance for a van that was, for a motorhome that was valued at £70,000, £380 a year, £340 a year. They said, oh no, if you live in it full time, we can't do it. We don't insure full timers. So, oh God, what do I do now? I've ordered the van. It's almost ours. So I did a bit of research and found a company called Comfort Insurance, they're not an insurance company as such. They're not underwriters. They are what they call an intermediary, who sit between me, or the public, and the underwriter, the insurance company. And the insurance company that we use at the moment is Aviva. So that's the company that backs up Comfort Insurance, who do all the quoting and all the rest of it. So I phoned up Comfort Insurance, and I'd already done a lot of research around what it might cost to do full-time insurance for a motorhome of that type of value. And everybody on the forums and so on was saying, well, it will be about £1,200. And sure enough, they quoted me £1,280. So for the van as it was, that was the Heimer T678 CL Golden Limited Edition, that we paid £70,000 for. When we changed the van from the Heimer to the Auto Trail, there was the addition of the satellite dish and system, which cost another, I thought they'd quoted me £36, but actually I've just had the renewal quote from Comfort, and apparently last year's insurance was £1,309, so that's the £1,280 plus the extra bit for the satellite dish. and any administration charge they made for the changeover of van. And this year's renewal quote, unlike most other renewal quotes I've had for cars and so on as the years have gone by, it's actually not that much more expensive. It's £1,311. Now, that's £3 more than I paid in the entire of last year, which I think is quite good. Now, I might go back to them and ask why it's gone up, because we've not claimed, we've got a good driving track record, we've not given them any issues, and by the way, when we went from the car to the motorhome with Comfort Insurance, I said, well, I've got 9 years no claims to transfer across. And they said, oh yeah, we don't worry about that, so we don't bother, we don't take it into account, but you can't use it anywhere else now you've told us. It's like, so if I buy a car to go with my motorhome, I can't use my 9 years no claims on that? No, now you've told us you've got that, that's ours. But they don't give you a discount, which I think is really unfair. But they've got you between a rock and a hard place, really, because there's only like 2 or 3 companies that will do full-timers motorhome insurance. And it's that expensive because they say the risk is so much higher. Because, I don't know, but maybe you're driving it more. I mean, one big change I did notice on the renewal quote, as I was reading through the sort of letter that comes with it, last year, in the first year, they said, well, how many miles are you going to do? And I said, well, I don't really know, I've not really, but we don't do that many, maybe 10,000, 15,000. And they said, well, if you're going to do 15,000, you might as well have the unlimited mileage option. Bear in mind, unlimited mileage, so they don't care about the mileage you do. As it turns out, this year we did about 3,500 in the Heimer. We've done about 6,500 in the Auto Trail, so about 10,000 miles. Now I don't know exactly, but it's about 10,000 miles. So last year they had a policy that would limit you to 10,000 miles a year or to unlimited mileage. So that's a big difference. And there wasn't that much difference in premium. I think it was like 50 quid or something. So we went for the unlimited. But this year on the renewal, stated in the letter, the accompanying letter, not in the policy, weirdly, in the accompanying letter, you're limited to 25,000 miles. So I've got to question that. I've got to question why it's gone up by a few pounds. And I've got to question whether I actually need to insure my satellite dish that's on top that just came with this van, because we don't really use it. And we certainly don't put it up in bad weather. So it's extremely unlikely to get damaged at all. And that's what the insurance is for. Is like if the wind catches it and takes it off. I'm not sure that I need it. So I'm gonna go back to them and ask them about that and see if we can, get that premium down to what it was last year. Because the van's not worth any more than 70,000, and we do 10,000 miles a year. We've been travelling a lot. I think I'd probably still go for the unlimited mileage or the 25,000 miles. But it's one of those things. You've got to have that insurance. So these are some of the sort of costs that you do with motorhomes that you're living in full time. So you've got to be aware of that. Now what I do is I sort of justify the motorhome insurance
as my, if you like, council tax. Because when we had the flat in Hove, we were paying £160 a month in council tax. Now, if you look at, £1,200, £1,300 a year, that's only £100 and so, £110, £112 a year. £112 a month, if you call it council tax. So it's not that bad, because the insurance for the van, and then we sort of pay out for sites, and that covers any of the council tax things that we would have been paying for if we were living in a bricks and sticks type of home. So that's the way I think about it. So, although from a motor policy point of view, that could have been £340, it sounds expensive, like it's an extra £1,000 a year. That sounds extortionate. When you look at it in the way that I do and call it your council tax, it's not so bad. It's not so bad. I like to look at things in a more positive way. So, yeah. So I'm going to go back to them and ask them about that. But we're probably going to stay with Comfort Insurance. They've been, Comfort Insurance and Aviva, they've been great. Some of you regular viewers might remember that on the ferry back from Imuden to Newcastle, DFDS said that we'd left our handbrake off and that the van had moved in the rough seas. Our handbrake was fully applied. Whichever we moved or the car behind us moved, they touched in transit. Neither owner or driver or passengers were in the vehicles. So, one or other vehicle in the rough seas moved, and we literally touched. There was no damage to Nikita Chloe, and there was a scuff mark on the bonnet, on the very front edge of the bonnet of the car behind. I let the insurance company know, and on thinking about it, I phoned them back and I said, look, that scuff mark is going to be so inexpensive to repair, and bear in mind my excess, that is the bit I have to pay before the insurance company pay anything, is £250. I reckon I could have sent the guy a couple of £100 to fix that little, it would have polished out, I reckon. So probably £50 worth of polish would have done it. So I said, look, I want to cancel that claim. They said, well, you can't. Now you've told us about it, you have to wait 3 months. And that 3 months was up yesterday, which is why I asked them to send me a renewal quote, because they'd cancelled the claim. Aviva did say that because the car was German registered and the insurance company was German, although the owners were Scottish, and they were sort of travelling back up to Scotland to see his family on holiday, that they were unlikely to register that claim because German insurance companies tend to really rack up the price if you claim. So, either way, the claim is closed down. It's not affecting my insurance, because I don't think I was at fault anyway. So it was a no-fault little bump. I think DFDS were to blame because they didn't. On the way out to Newcastle to Imuden, they tied the van down. It's a 5-ton van. If in any heavy seas, there's going to be a little bit of momentum, and if the van is not actually chocked under the wheels, like the wheels are stopped from rolling, then it might. I'm not saying it did, but it might have done. And on the way back, they didn't do that. So I think, you know, the insurance, Aviva, the insurance company, they're very kind. They said, well, look, insurance claims are all about responsibility and negligence. So who's responsible and who's been negligent? So, and not necessarily that, who's been negligent, and that sort of makes you responsible. So I think DFDS were negligent in their way. They boarded the vehicle, and I think I had a clear-cut case because they didn't chop the wheels. They didn't tie the van down. I applied the handbrake as I should have done, and anyway, that's all done and finished now, which I'm very happy about. So we're gonna just go back to Comfort Insurance, have a little chat with them, see if we can reduce it. It's £1,311 is the renewal premium currently, but I'll let you know how I get on. We're trying to reduce that. I'm hoping to get it below 1,300. If I can get 20 quid off, that'll be a bonus. If it's below 1,300, I'll count that as a win. But I'll let you know how I get on with that. And win, lose or draw, it is what it is. But that's it for today, and I'm going to see you again tomorrow. Goodbye for now. Take care.